Hare Krishna, good morning and welcome all of you all for the Sunday morning Bhagavad Gita class. So we are on the third chapter, completed 27th verse, 3.27, but just having a fast recap of the things. Yes, Jigar Prabhu, what are you saying?
So Prabhuji, Krishna said that whatever you do, people will follow, because people will follow the great personalities. And secondly, I also don't have to do anything, but still I am doing my duties because
Tomorrow people should not say that
I did not.
they should not try to copy me, because we like to copy God. We all like to copy the activities of God, but we are not fit to be even dogs. But we want to copy God, and you are not fit to be DOG also. The reason is those activities look easy for Lord, but for us it is next to impossible. The most common desired act by human beings is the Ras Leela done by Lord. So even humans want to do a Ras Leela. But please understand how many years of tapasya those gopis have done to come to that level. More than that, if you see, the gopis have tried to show us and give us an important message. And what have they shown? When they were called by God, they left all their responsibilities and they went to his call. Tell me, here I have to beg, please chant. Sir, please chant. God has not told me, sir, don't chant. Even if God tells you all, I just imagine how much activities can we really do for the love of God. It's challenging. Lord says every Ekadashi should be Nirjala. That's Ekadashi means there is only one Ekadashi, Nirjala. Then we have then subcategorized it for our convenience. ठीक है, चलो कलयुग में इतना भी किया तो भी ठीक है. कलयुग में तपस्या होने वाला नहीं है. If you see tapasya in way back in the earlier yugas like Satyug, the Treta Yuga, especially Treta Yuga, tapasya was maximum. There were very varieties of yogis. One who used to only go to the field after the farmer has cut the crops. जो भी नीचे गिरा होगा ना धान्य, बस उसी को चुनेंगे, उसी को साफ करके उसी को पका के खा लेंगे. That's it. उससे भी higher varieties, set of I forgot name, उच्चिष्ट and श्रेत, ऐसा कुछ तो है, श्वेत type of yogis, uchreta, that is higher, still higher than that. And that those used to be, they used to go to the shops. When the shopkeeper, गेहूँ और चावल, निकाल के भर के वजन करके देता है, 2-4 दाने ज़रूर गिरते हैं. Few grains always fall down. So these sadhus used to go after the shops have closed, and whatever little has fallen, they used to pick that, clean it, cook it, and eat it. And the height of it was, there are a few who used to not even pound it, as it is, उसको पानी में भिगो के खा लेते थे. Because for them the focus of life was something else. So those type of yogis coming in the form of gopis, and Lord wants to fulfill their desires. But people with less knowledge, which Shastra gives a nice word called moodhas, वो क्या करते हैं? अरे भगवान ने रासलीला किया, मैं भी रासलीला करता हूँ. So that is why one should not, people try to ape the activities of God, but we are nowhere near the activities. We can't even be 1/10. In fact, when Ramchandra ji was he was about to cross the bridge, just cross the bridge. That time Vibhishan comes for Sharanagati. He says, please accept me. I am the brother of Ravan. He tells openly, I am the brother of Ravan. तो आचार्यगण बोलते हैं 2 तरह के उसमें इंटरप्रिटेशंस है. वन ही सेज इज आई एम द ब्रदर ऑफ रावण, मतलब अभी भी उसको घमंड है कि मैं रावण का भाई हूँ, या अटैचमेंट है. बट अदर डे दैट आई एम द ब्रदर ऑफ द तुच्छ रावण, दैट यूजलेस रावण, एंड आई वांट टू सरेंडर टू यू. इतने में सुग्रीव एंड अदर वानर्स, नो पकड़ो उसको, कैच करो, बांध के रखो. ही इज़ नॉट meant to be released, it should be caught, and ये हो सकता है spy हो सकता है, this may be a act of that jadugari act of Ravan himself may have come in the form of Vibhishan. A number of suggestions were given to Ramchandraji. In fact, this happened in the middle of the night, and they were actually to bind him and keep him. Next day morning he was to be presented to Ramchandraji, but Ramchandraji heard all the hue and cry and he came out over there, and then he saw this Vibhishan, and then Sugriv gives him all this idea. That time Ramchandraji shows his godly powers, says, "You idiot, you forgot, जब तुम वाली से छुप के भाग रहा था, who saved you? I saved you. So you don't think on the तुम्हारे बलबूते पे मैं खड़ा नहीं हूँ यहाँ पे. Don't think that I am standing on the powers of you people, you monkeys and riches. But understand one thing. With my last fingers का अग्र भाग, अग्र मतलब नख होता है, अग्र भाग में nail होता है. So with the nail of my last finger, I can kill all the Rakshasas in this world." He gives us, he shows off his godly qualities. I can just, with the last nail of my last finger, I can kill all the Rakshasas. Don't worry even if Ravan comes here. But even Ravan comes, I will give him Sharanagati. What to talk about Vibhishan? Ravan ko bhi Sharanagati dunga, let him come. So, point is, let's not try to equal God in any way. Let us try to follow the orders given by God. At least in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord has given many clear-cut instructions to us, and if we just follow that, our ticket back to Godhead is confirmed. But as long as one doesn't do that, definitely life is going to be same vicious cycle of birth and death. This vicious cycle of birth and death is going to be there eternally. And if one doesn't want to bring that rectification or change inside him, it's going to be a real tough job. So let's proceed with we'll read the translation of the last verse. Mataji, can anyone read?
Jivan?
Yeah.
The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Yes. So हर एक व्यक्ति ये सोचता है कि मैं कार्य कर रहा हूँ, आई एम द डूअर ऑफ द एक्टिविटी, बट एक्चुअली एक्टिविटी कैसे होता है? 3 गुणों में अंदर है व्यक्ति, रजोगुण, सत्वगुण और तमोगुण. अब जैसे एक एक्टिविटी है भगवान की भक्ति न करना, और चलो I'll prefer to go for a movie, or prefer to go for a mall, I'll prefer to go anywhere else, but I will not prefer to come to the class or go to the temple or read the scriptures. This is possible only under the mode of ignorance. If you are in Satagun, you cannot do this. It will pinch your heart. But it's time, I have not yet gone to the temple, I have not done my rituals, I have not done my part of my swadhyay. जो मेरा स्वाध्याय करना मैंने किया नहीं है, जो भी है. So that pinches. So it is an activity is always carried forward by. So what is Lord trying to say in this verse? Your activity is categorized on the basis of under which mode you are doing this activity. Or rather, if you want to do an activity of that sort, you have to undertake that mode. Unless until you don't undertake that mode, you cannot do. For example, a person who is in Satogun, he wants to do, let's say, business. And business में लाना, माल लाना, बेचना, सो झूठ बोलना, ये करना, वो करना, सब है. How is it possible if he is in the mode of goodness? He has to come in the mode of passion. He has to take the shelter of the mode of passion to complete it. Otherwise, he cannot complete it. At least a person in knowledge will know, oh, I am doing this activity under the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, whatever activity I am doing, under that mode I am doing it. And unless until you undertake that mode, you cannot do. A person who suppose he is in the mode of ignorance, he cannot do business. I still remember one of my college acquaintance, he had started a business, huge business. He was making those, in those days, the signboards, big glow signboards was a big thing. I mean, there was no LED lights, there were only ordinary lights inside a acrylic sheet. But that was a huge business that time. And he had started that business. But under the mode of ignorance, during daytime, inside the office, sitting on the office table, he used to drink alcohol. So what do you call that? Though he is trying to be in the mode of passion, he is overcome by mode of ignorance. So that.
I beg your pardon. We have missed out on 24, 25, 26.
24, 25, 26 मिक्स किया है हम लोग ने. ओके, ठीक है. तो हाँ, तो under some mode we do some activity of ours. So we have to see that we don't transcend or transgress any mode and go to another mode unwantedly. It is Satogun is most demanding. Again, these four gunas, the three gunas are subjected to the four varnas. If you are a Brahmana, if you are a Vaishya, you are a Kshatriya, you are a Shudra, you have to undertake those modes. जैसे अगर आप क्षत्रिय हो, I am in the mode of goodness, not possible. You have to protect the kingdom, you have to expand your kingdom, you have to do so many things. Always give the example, अगर कोई नर्तकी हो, dancer हो, and she says नहीं मैं तो घूंघट लगा के नाचूंगी. Can she dance? She has to keep her, she has to become, so to say, a sort of shameless. Then only she can perform her dance. So this is what is very important, that the four gunas, the four varnas are very important in our three gunas. Unless and until those four gunas are and the varnas are there under the three gunas, it cannot act. सतोगुण में रहने वाला व्यक्ति ब्राह्मण है तो वो सतोगुण में ही रहेगा, क्षत्रिय है तो वो रजोगुण में ही रहेगा, इवन वैश्य कम अंडर द सेम कैटेगरी, एंड शूद्र रहेगा तो वो तमगुण में रहेगा. तो उसके एक्टिविटीज़ के हिसाब से इट इज़ डिसाइडेड. टेल यू अ स्मॉल स्टोरी. वंस एक पहले उस ज़माने में गुरुकुल्स हुआ करते थे. गुरुकुल्स देयर इज टू बी अ कॉमन गुरु, बट they used to have categories, like we have got science, commerce, arts in colleges, we have got various segments. So they used to be training for Kshatriyas. What used to be the training for Kshatriyas used not to be the training for Brahmanas and Vaishyas. Because Kshatriya को क्या काम करना है, उसको तो warfare सिखाना है and all that. ब्राह्मण को वेद पाठ वो सब बैठ करवाना, वाणिज्य को रक्षा वाणिज्य ये सब सिखाना है वैश्य को. तो उस हिसाब से it was departmented. So once one young child comes, he goes and tells the guru that I want to join the Gurukul, please admit me. He says, fine, tell me who you are. You are a Brahmana, Vaishya or a Shudra. Accordingly, I will put you in that department. He says, I don't know, I have to ask my mother. He says, okay, go and ask your mother. So he goes and to ask his mother. His mother says, I don't remember. She was a loose-carroted lady. She had slept with n number of people. She said, I don't know. So immediately when she said, I don't know, immediately the boy came and told his guru that my mother says she doesn't know. So I don't know which category I have to fit in. Immediately he says, okay, go and sit in the Brahmana category. He tells him, go and sit in the Brahmana category. So why? इतना सत्य बोलने का ताकत सिर्फ एक ब्राह्मण में हो सकता है. इतना सत्य बोलने का जो guts or the power to go and sit in the Brahmanas category. So what does this mean? This means that's what चतुर्वर्णम मया सृष्टम गुण कर्म विभागस्य. आपका गुण और आपका कर्ण, ये गुण रहेगा. सतोगुण वाला व्यक्ति जो है, हम ब्राह्मण है, वो हमेशा सत्य के ऊपर ही टिका रहेगा. He will not tell, even if he becomes a businessman, he cannot tell good lies. Whereas you ask a Rajoguni person, a Vaishya, अरे साहब मैं कुछ कमा ही नहीं रहा हूँ, आप गवाह नुकसान में काम कर रहा हूँ, ये वो, और वे बड़े पर and it will look very authentic also. Because that is the guna of that personality. Okay, so Mataji is telling we have to start from 3.24. Okay, common consensus on this topic, verse. Okay. Okay, if I did not perform prescribed duties, all the three worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living entities. So, all living beings. So, what is Lord saying in this verse number 3.24? He says very clearly कि भाई मैं अगर परफॉर्म नहीं करता हूँ, if I did not perform my duties. And what was Lord's duty? What was Lord's duty? Maintain the world. Okay. Very point. Nice point. Very good. और कुछ? He doesn't have any duty. Okay. Something? What is the Lord's duty? He says, na, if I did not perform prescribed duties. So what is Lord's prescribed duties?
Provider for everyone.
Provider for everyone. Okay, very good. Huh? Stick to dharma. Okay. All going around the points.
Back to Godhead.
Take. Why should he come and take? We are supposed to go back to God. बेचारा ओके लोकल ट्रेन चलाएंगे आ जाओ बैठ जाओ आ जाओ ओके हाँ बोलिए यस यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् पवित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे थैंक्स टू B.R. Chopra but really it's great at least ये दो श्लोक तो महाभारत के दो श्लोक तो भगवद गीता के लोगों ने बैठ किया है थोड़ा तो सुकृति मिल रहा है लोगों को so if I did not now read the verse with this point of view then you will understand if I did not perform the prescribed duties all the three worlds would have put to ruination I would be the cause of creating unwanted population if dushkritam if he did not kill the dushkritam if he did not kill the पवित्राय साधुनाम दो काम था उनका पवित्र मतलब साधुओं को बचाना और ये करना दिस इज ऑल्सो इफ आई डोंट डू दिस वर्क सो दिस इज द प्राइम ड्यूटी ऑफ द लॉर्ड मेंटेनिंग दिस एंड दैट इज ऑल whether he doesn't even if it doesn't do anything also it is happening it is automatically happening the sun will not go against his order day or night rain or shine the sun has to come and go when it comes to your what do you say rains your sea even Bhagavatam mentions the sea holds itself at one point and doesn't come inside because of the fear of God because of the fear of God the sea is standing there itself otherwise it would have come into this earth also so everything is running because of fear of God but still he himself comes only when it is required so this is one of his prescribed duties other than that in the leela in which he had come he did so many activities like went to Sandipani Muni to make a guru then he learnt all the 64 kalas in 64 days which is impossible for any human being to learn in one day one kala to learn is next to impossible Sudama was there before Krishna and like a repeater he was there after Krishna also why because Krishna was Krishna Sudama was an ordinary Brahmana so doing all those activities was just one segmental part of it but most important was these are the main part is he should see that this creation is maintained correctly but maintained in what way by interfering in whenever there is too much of asuri vritti or mode of tamogud increases too much then Lord himself comes in some form or the other and rectifies the whole system and thereby destroying if these people come what do they only destroy the peace in this world if you see Hiranyakashipu what did he do he destroyed peace what did Bali Maharaj do all these people were destroying peace in the world be it with Duryodhana Shishupal and all that so Lord basically incarnates the main purposes he wants to protect the sadhus and kill the bad so that is what Lord is saying here if I do not perform my prescribed duties so Bhagwan ka bhi duties hai unko bhi kaam hai and why all this is being said अगर कोई व्यक्ति सोचे कि भगवद गीता पढ़ने से मैं निकम्मा हो जाऊंगा, आई विल नॉट वेल बिकम लाइक प्रभु जी, डोंट वरी, इवन आई गॉट लॉट ऑफ ड्यूटीज टू डू एंड आई एम परफॉर्मिंग लॉट ऑफ ड्यूटीज, बट you have to do your activities, your day to day activities have to be performed. A beautiful explanation is given by acharyas when Hanumanji flies from Rameshwaram to Lanka. How did he go? He flew, but by what power? Ram Naam. तो उसने क्या रखा था? मुद्रिका जीभ में रखी थी. क्यों? लोग ने पूछा मुद्रिका कोई अंगूठी कोई मुंह में रखने की चीज़ है? बोला अंगूठी तो मुंह में रखने की चीज़ नहीं, बट उसमें जो नाम लिखा था, राम नाम लिखा था, तो राम नाम में मुंह में रख के आई वॉज डूइंग. सो आचार्य से वेरी नाइसली दैट दो ही वॉज टेकिंग द होली नेम, ही वॉज एक्टिंग ऑल्सो. ही डिड नॉट से आई विल सिट इन वन हैंड एंड आई विल डू जाप, मैं हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण. ही व्हाट ही सेड, राम का नाम ले रहा हूं और साथ में राम का काज भी कर. सो वी ऑल हैव टू डू अवर एक्टिविटीज, अवर वॉट एवर बोनाफाइड एक्टिविटीज वी आर सपोज टू डू, वी आर सपोज टू डू. You know, a lady who may not be going to the office, even she has got activities. She has to take care of the family, cook the food, take care of the house, whatever it is. As per the time, place and circumstance, that varies, but that has to be done. Okay. Who's reading the purport?
As described previously,
Read.
next one.
Varna Shankara is unwanted population which.
All the qualifications of the
Which verse?
What is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of general society. In order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized by spiritual progress in life. When Lord Krishna descends, naturally he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to them. Therefore, whichever there is general disregard of regulative principles, the Lord himself descends and corrects the society. We should, however, note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate him. Following and imitating are not on the same level. We cannot imitate the Lord by lifting Govardhana hill as the Lord did in his childhood. It is impossible for any human being. We have to follow his instructions.
We have already discussed this point that all activities of God cannot be imitated by us. Yeah, one should simply follow the.
But we may not imitate him at any time. The Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay.
But should simply follow the instructions of the Lord and his empowered servants. Their instructions are good for us, and any intelligent person will perform them as instructed. However, one should guard against trying to imitate their actions. One should not try to drink the ocean of poison in imitation of Lord Shiva. We should all.
But people imitate by drinking भांग. शिव जी ने भांग पिया, हम भी पीते हैं. अरे शिव जी ने विष भी पिया, पियो ना थोड़ा.
We should always consider the position of the Ishwaras or those who can actually control the movements of the sun and the moon as superior without such power. One cannot imitate the Ishwaras who are super powerful. Lord Shiva drank poison to extent of swallowing an ocean. But if any common man tries to drink even a fragment of such poison, he will be killed. There are many pseudo devotees of Lord Shiva who want to indulge in smoking, marijuana, ganja, and similar intoxicating drugs, forgetting that by so imitating the acts of Lord Shiva, they are calling death very near. Similarly, there are some pseudo devotees of Lord Krishna who prefer to imitate the Lord in his Ras Leela and dance for love, forgetting their inability to lift Govardhana hill. It is best, therefore, that one not try to imitate the powerful, but simply follow their instructions. Nor should one try to occupy their post without qualification. There are so many incarnations of God without the power of Supreme God.
Next verse, very very important, especially this is the crux of the entire Karma Yoga. That is the crux of the Karma Yoga comes in this. Shakta karmanya avidvamso yatha kuruvanti bharata kuruyad vidvams tatha ashaktaha chikitsur loka sangrinam. Say, there are two words in this verse which are very important. One is Shaktaha and Ashaktaha. Two prime things which gives us understanding of this. Now let's go to the translation, then we will understand. The ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results. The learned may similarly act without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path. Now, what does this mean? What does the prima facie, what do you understand about this?
We are attached to the results of what action we want. Results means हमने कोई काम किया तो हमारे को पैसा चाहिए या कुछ उसका रिजल्ट चाहिए. Whereas जो highly learned people है, they perform the same duties but to show to the society that you should follow this manner. Duties are to become in this manner. So they are not worried about the results.
So they will say that you are also performing the duty for some attachments, no, from the results.
It is a must because we are there in this world, so we have to perform the duties.
Good.
That is what they are trying to say. You will have to perform the duty, but you should not be attached to the results. Results are not in your hands.
Results are not in your hands. Okay. Something else someone else would like to add in that? Let's read it once again. Let me see who can read in between the lines. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to the results, the learned may similarly act without attachment, but, its word is but, without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. See, when Krishna is giving this advice to Arjuna, every warrior standing in the war field is going to fight. But opposite side, Duryodhana has got a purpose. He is attached to the victory. He wants the entire kingdom. He wants to rule over the entire world, which these people don't have that attachment. Unless he is telling Arjuna, you have to do it as your duty. Don't do it with attachment. For example, let's say Mataji says, Prabhuji, may I go to the shop daily, but shop में ज़्यादा लोग नहीं आते हैं. मैं घर पे रहती हूँ, जाती नहीं. Does it make sense? Whether profit or loss, you have to go, you have to sit in the shop and make sure that your activity is going on that level. Now, what is the purpose of doing such an activity? Now, what will happen if I just do this? What is a big benefit of mine?
The generations coming in will learn from it and will also prescribe with the prescribed duties.
Okay, let's take the next verse also, then we will amalgamate both. So as not to disturb the mind of the ignorant attached to the fruitive results, the results of the prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sort of activities for gradual development and Krishna consciousness. This will give you the answer to this question. अगर एक व्यक्ति सुबह he does his whole business, but at the same time he is following the 4 regulative principles, he is following the Shastric rules and regulations, and doesn't break any of the rules and lives a very simple life. Others apparently may wonder, may laugh. But in the long course of time, that is what it says, should engage them in all sort of activities. 1 minute. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sort of activities. जब वो लोग देखेंगे कि हाँ भाई आप लोग इन्वॉल्व हो इसमें, इनिशियली फॉर एनीथिंग यू डू दैट इज द क्रिटिसिज्म. जब कोई लड़की नई बहू बन के जाती है, देयर इज क्रिटिसिज्म. Whatever she does is wrong, and whatever the mother-in-law says is right, because the boss is always right. But in due course of time, when the house people see the activity of the routine activity of the new daughter-in-law, then in due course of time, it won't be shocking that they also get rectified. It won't be shocking. I underline that. I mean, it's not necessary that every house it has to rectify, but at least they will not be opposing that person. And the main purpose of doing this is, as it is, are we ready to dedicate ourselves to God? None of us is ready to do that. हम लोग क्या देना चाहेंगे? तन देंगे, धन देंगे, मन नहीं देंगे. और इस दुनिया में मन का खरीदार कौन है? कोई है? Anybody wants your मन. बट हम लोग क्या करेंगे? भगवान बोलते कुछ भी मत दे, तेरा मन दे. तेरा अगरबत्ती नहीं चाहिए, तेरा घी का दिया नहीं चाहिए, तेरा फलाहार नहीं चाहिए, तेरा 56 भोग नहीं चाहिए, तेरा मन चाहिए. बट हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? वी विल गिव यू एवरीथिंग अदर देन माई माइंड. माई माइंड इज माइंड and it doesn't mind you also, it doesn't mind anyone. That is where the problem starts. So slowly, offering when you start, it's like a child starts writing. Initially he just writes A, B, C, D, and then he feels he has done as if some PhD studies. He's too tired, he wants a chocolate, he wants to play this and that. But the same child gradually, when in due course of time when he starts studying, then he writes a small 4 lines, 2 lines, 4 lines, then an essay, a paragraph, then he writes, by the time he comes to SSC, he writes one answer which is of 4 pages. And that time he says, he doesn't say, oh, in my childhood I was writing A, B, C, D and I got so tired. Because for him to write that A was also, you have to hold his hand and make him write. Similarly, when we first start offering the fruits to the Lord, then slowly we come to a realization, चल फ्रूट्स ही दे दिया, अब बचा क्या अपने पास? व्हाट इज इट? व्हाट इज लेफ्ट विथ अस? सुख और दुख दोनों दे दिया भगवान. पहले तो हम दुख तेरा सुख मेरा. दैट्स इनिशियल, दैट्स एन एमेच्योर स्टेज. बट वंस वन मैच्योर्स इन लॉन्गर रन, व्हाट हैपेंस? ही गिव्स अ सुख एंड दुख. दैट इज बोथ द फ्रूट्स, सुकृति एंड दुष्कृति, दोनों भगवान को दे देते. इसके लिए व्हेन वन टेक्स दीक्षा, व्हाट हैपेंस? उसके पूरे संचित कर्म जो है, वो जो दीक्षा लेते हैं गुरु महाराज वो ले लेते हैं. प्रारब्ध कर्म क्यों नहीं लेते हैं? प्रारब्ध कर्म ले सकते हैं ना. जब बोलते हैं संचित कर्म दे दिया, मतलब जन्मों जन्मों का पाप और पुण्य उन्होंने ले लिया, तो इस जन्म का पाप पुण्य क्यों भोगना है हमको? Am I making a logical question or not? Then what do we do that for? What is the answer for that? बोलिए.
Now you become a devotee, so now you have to, your action happen, that will go on its own. You
taste that.
Then why not? 1 minute. Then why not the other संचित कर्म also be there? Sir, वो क्यों लेवे फिर? बेचारा गुरु महाराज has to take all the karmas and they have to suffer.
भगवान टेस्ट करना चाहते हैं कि ये बाद में अगर उसके खराब कर्म है तो दुख में भी वो भी छोड़ता तो नहीं है.
बाई चांस अच्छे सुख के कर्म रहते
तो भी नहीं छोड़ता है, तो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. बहुत सुख होने के बाद नहीं छोड़ सकता है.
प्रभु, आई हैव टोल्ड यू ऑल, यू हैव फॉरगॉटन इट. द मिनट योर कर्मास आर ओवर, यू हैव टू लीव दिस बॉडी. आई हैव टोल्ड दिस, राइट? द मिनट योर कर्मस, जब तक एक शरीर में, कई बार हम लोग न्यूज़पेपर में सब आजकल न्यूज़ में आता है कि भाई छोटा सा लड़का या यंग मैन हार्ट अटैक से मर गया, एक्सीडेंट में, बहाना कुछ भी हो, निमित्त जो भी हो, कुछ नहीं तो हार्ट अटैक से. दैट इज आजकल का कॉमन निमित्त भगवान ने दे दिया इज हार्ट अटैक. आई वाज शॉक्ड टू सी वन फेलो वाज प्लेइंग बैडमिंटन, ही डाइड व्हाइल प्लेइंग बैडमिंटन, ही डाइड. वन बॉय डाइड व्हेन जस्ट आउटसाइड द डोर अ मैन डाइड. in Hyderabad, 40-year-old man. So, and some 27-year-old, one more actor or some fellow, he also died like that. So, sudden heart attack. So, the point is, the minute your karmas are over, you have to leave the body. Till your karmas are not over, you have to be in this body. कई बार लोग बोलते हैं भगवान उठा ले मुझे, उठा ले. काय का उठाएगा? तेरे कर्म कौन उठाएगा? तेरे कर्म भी तो तुझे भुगतना है, कोई और नहीं उठा सकते हैं तेरे कर्म. तेरे कर्म तुझे ही भुगतना है. So you have to undergo all the torture. So unless and until your karmas, your prarabdha karma means from the sanchit, from the what do you say, what is the stock, raw stock, उसमें से थोड़े अच्छे और थोड़े बुरे भेलपुरी की तरह मिक्स करके भेज देते. इसकी वजह से कभी कभी जीवन में अच्छे वक्त भी आते हैं और बुरे वक्त भी आते हैं. वन में से प्रभु जी, वन इज बॉर्न इन अ वेरी रिच एंड एरिस्टोक्रेटिक एंड फेमस फैमिली और एरिस्टोक्रेटिक फैमिली, उसका पुण्य है. इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी दैट इट मे बी दैट वे. इट मे बी बिकॉज ही इज बॉर्न इन दैट एंड ही वॉन्ट्स टू डू सम अदर एक्टिविटी, he is not able to do. That is his karma. He is born in an aristocratic family, but he wants to do some activity, good or bad. I am not pointing any finger at that. Like for example, one may be given a lady's body, I mean a woman's body. That is required. If you are bound to get a Miss World or a Miss Universe title, this soul has to be given a female body. Till then, it cannot be given. Vice versa, if you are going to be some big top actor or something, you are going to be given a male body. So whatever is given may every time may not be necessary and it is only for good. It may be sometimes to punish you also. Like for example, you have insulted someone. So you first have to go in the top of your life, then you are supposed to fall down from that, and then the pinch of insult and blemish what is there in your life, that is given. That time it pinches more. For example, a beggar is there, जो भी इसको 500,000 रुपये जो भी है उसकी चोरी हो गई, तो उसको गम कितना होगा? इतना सा. ठीक है, उसके लिए 500 रुपये काफ़ी बड़े रकम है, बट वो बोलेगा ठीक है कल से वापस ज़्यादा बिक मांगूंगा, ओवर टाइम बिक मांगूंगा. बट इफ ही इज अ रिच मैन and he loses 100 crores or 1000 crores, like what happened. And the best part is more than people were worried. The best part is more than the person who has lost 100, 200 crores or 500 crores, whatever it is, the people are more worried about him. He is not worried. He is not worried. This is our mentality. How much we are attached to the worldly activities rather than attached to God. If you are attached, really attached to God, वो जाने भगवान जाने, what is your headache? What's your problem? उसका गया, इसका गया, क्या गया? अच्छा तुम्हारा गया गया वो ठीक है, but who asked you? He invited you. Please come and invest. If that is also your prarabdha karma, you are supposed to lose. Why you lose on a premium place? Why you don't lose on a non-premium place? You lose on a premium place. Your prarabdha karma. तो एक आदमी अगर शेयर मार्केट में टूटता है, 500 करोड़ से गिरता है, उसके साथ 5000 लोग भी, 5000 नहीं 50 करोड़ के लोग भी उसके साथ जाते ही. वाई? वी आर इन द इंप्रेशन, इसके कर्म अच्छे हैं, इसके ऊपर दाव लगाऊंगा, ये भागेगा तो मेरा घोड़ा भी भागेगा. डिजायर, लस्ट सो अलोन अर्जुना, लॉर्ड सेज कामेश क्रोधेश रजगुण समुद्भव महाअष्टो महापापमा विद्येनम ये वैरिनम. So please understand that this karma, the law of karma is so intricate. And suppose किसी व्यक्ति ने एक दिन पहले उसका शेयर बेचा, वो कितना मतलब उसका आनंद कितना होगा. अरे पागल ये लोग बर्बाद हो गए, देख बच क्या. Just to die another day, that's all. In another day, in another way or another script, that's it. The worst part is we are all busy running behind something which is not tangible, which has to be left and gone. But उसके पीछे एकदम प्रभु जी सब ठीक है, philosophy is right, but this is must. Where are you? Which race have you gone? Which race have you crossed? I always give an example. Let's say a man who is drawing, let's say 50,000 rupees salary. You go and ask him, are you jealous on that BMW? Are you jealous on Lamborghini? What about that Maruti 800? I am jealous on that. I want that. Because that is the only thing he can right now think about. He can think about. It's in the, when he puts a little efforts, it is in the accessible reach. But you go and ask someone who's already sitting in the segment of 10 lakh car, 5 to 10 lakh car. He says, I'm also not envious of Lamborghini or this thing, but I'm envious about Creta. Because I'm just 10 lakhs mein hu. I can work hard and get that 15 lakh one. Okay, the 15 lakh car wala bolta, I want the 25 lakh car. So this is how it is. Some people say, as I am detached. Because kai ka detached? You are not in nowhere in range of that. That's why your grapes are sour. But this is what happens. The law of karma is so intricate. People don't understand that. Even the person who is sitting in the Lamborghini finally has to leave his Lamborghini and go to the crematorium on an ambulance. So what's so great about it? But people hardly do they understand that. But that is ignorance which is covering us, and that has covered us from millions of births. And second is association. If you are sitting, if you go and sit inside a bolt room where 10 people are sitting and talking and ye liya, wo liya, ye bech, wo kharid. By default, chalo main kuch to karu. Let me do something. ज़्यादा ना सही थोड़ा तो कुछ करूँ. I am sitting like a donkey. ये लोग आगे निकल रहे हैं. कहाँ निकल रहे हैं? Don't worry, you will meet them in the same crematorium. Don't worry. There no one is going to go ahead. That's why Lord says, I am. This law of karma is gahana karma gatim. The कर्म की गति बहुत गहन है, बहुत intricate है. Nobody understands. Why only Karna had to undergo this, bad situation of having a mother, he was a motherless child, and he was called as Sutaputra, though he was a Kshatriya. And in the bargain of his frustration, he gained only curses. Curse of a Brahmin, curse of a teacher, and finally he lost everything. And he thought he will act very smart by making friendship with Duryodhana. Everything went against. Please understand that one has to be inside his limitations with respect to his activities. If one doesn't focus on God, one doesn't focus his activities or his end goal as God, and without procrastinating it. Please, people generally procrastinate. अब वक्त है, करेंगे ना बाद में. After seeing so many news in this thing, you still feel आपके पास वक्त है. So many people just at least in 15-20 days कितने लोगों का न्यूज़ में देख चुका हूँ जो हार्ट अटैक से मर गए. But still वो मरा ना, मैं थोड़ी मरा. We are in that mindset. Okay. So by our activities, if you go and tell, now if you want to preach, Prabhuji, कल आ जाओ, कल भगवद गीता क्लास है, or you start chanting the holy name, they will not understand. They will say, because they are in the mode of ignorance, they feel you are wasting your life, you are wasting your time, you are wasting your age. But then when they will see you for a long time performing this, and you are mentally in a much better state, karmas have not changed. Good and bad is going to happen with us also. Because जो हमने कमाया वही तो खा रहे हैं. कल की रोटी खा रहे हैं ना हम लोग सब. जो कल पुराने कमाया, अभी कर्म कौन सा कोई नया तो है ही नहीं. जो पहले जन्म में किया है, पहले कितने जन्म पहले किया पता नहीं, बट वो जन्म का फल हम आप भुगत रहे हैं. So what is this saying? Problems are going to come. But how a devotee handles the situations will be guiding for those people without, Lord is Lord saying, without disturbing them, you do it. Don't disturb them. Hey, पागल है, ये सब करता है, गलत करता है, नरक जाएगा. जैसे कल प्रदीप जाके प्रचार करने ले आता है, मत खाओ यार, नॉनवेज खाओ, जाओगे नरक जाओगे. बोले कल तक तू भी खाता था ना. So don't disturb them. Don't give that thing, because see, I'll tell you, today's date, I'll tell you this very clear concept. The foolish laugh at us and we laugh at the foolish. वो बोलते हैं इसको जीना आता नहीं है, जीवन का मज़ा क्या है, खाओ पियो ऐश करो, लिव लाइफ किंग साइज, दैट्स जीवन का मंत्र उनके लिए. और हम क्या बोलते हैं, छप्पन भोग खाओ ना, कौन मना करता है, बट डोंट ईट, बी इन द रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. सो इट इज़ ऑलवेज द केस. वो लोग बोलते हैं ये he doesn't eat meat, he doesn't drink alcohol, he doesn't do illicit sex, then what are you living for? इससे अच्छा मर जा, क्या जीवन जीना है. So they laugh at us, we laugh at them, but who has the final laughter is to be seen. मतलब आखिरी हंसी कौन हंसेगा वो देखना. So we are not bothered about them, but we have to lead our life, and we have to show from our gradual change in our life, we have to set up an example in front of others. Okay, what is this verse number? 27 ना? No, 27 तो ले लिया हमने. Yeah, 28. तद्वित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्म विभागयो गुणगुणेषु वृत्तः इति मत्वा न सज्जते. Please read the translation.
One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, O mighty arm, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work futile results.
Work in devotion does not tell you about engaging your senses in sense gratification. अगर किसी को यहाँ पे डाउट हो तो ये वर्ड्स कंफर्म करता है भगवान कृष्ण क्या बोलते हैं. मैंने कह रहा हूँ, भगवान कृष्ण स्वयं कहते हैं कि वन हु इज इन नॉलेज ऑफ द एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ, जो भगवान का ज्ञान रखता है, ओ माइटी आर्म्ड, ही इज टेलिंग अर्जुना. बट महाबाहो शब्द का श्रील प्रभुपाद गिव्स अ वेरी नाइस एग्जाम्पल. कहते हैं कि आज के कलयुग में अगर कोई व्यक्ति, if he is free from meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex and gambling, he is Mahabaho. It takes great courage to leave all these four. It takes great courage to leave all this, because these are things which suck you, easily available. Everyone invites you and you are considered great also. In the party, if you don't drink, fool, what a dabu you are. But if you drink, if you eat, if you do illicit sex, you gamble, you are considered to be excellent. So that's why Prabhupada says, one who doesn't do all these activities, he is considered as Mahabaho, mighty armed one. Does not engage himself in his senses in sense gratification. तो senses को sense gratification में engage नहीं करेगा. Don't worry, I got an announcement after the class, so don't. So senses in the sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work in fruitive activities. क्योंकि उसको फर्क, he knows the differentiation कि ये सही है, ये गलत है, ये वर्क इन डिवोशन है एंड दिस इज वर्क इन फ्रूटिटिव. ये मैं सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन के लिए कर रहा हूँ, मैं अपने खुद के लिए जीवन मज़ा लेने के लिए, जीवन में मज़ा लेने के लिए मैं निर्वाह कर रहा हूँ. यहाँ पे मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज आई एम लिविंग लाइफ ऑफ डिवोशन. दैट डिफरेंस इज क्लियरली नोन टू whom? One who is in the knowledge of the absolute truth. Please read the purport.
The knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in material association. He knows that he is part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and that his position should not be in material creation. He knows his real identity as part and parcel of Supreme, who is eternal bliss and knowledge, and he realizes that somehow or other he is entrapped in the material conception of life. In his pure state of existence, he meant to dovetail his activities in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. He therefore engages himself.
Once again, if you remember, in those days, kings, there were two types of kings. Few kings were busy enjoying sense gratification. They would see dance, they would drink, and they used to do. But there were many kings who were very strict in their life. And what did they engage their wealth in? They engaged their wealth in building temples, big temples, and wells, and यात्रियों के लिए जो पिलग्रिम के आते थे उनके लिए आश्रम बनाना, ये करना, वो करना. So there are various ways in which the wealth can be put to work also. It's not that, oh, someone was, what do I do with so much of wealth? Fine, you got so much of wealth, do it for the good of the society, rather than engaging your senses in the sense object. One can say, oh, I took a chartered plane, I went over there and I had a cruise, this and that. Fine, everything is fine. But did you attain closeness to God? Whatever activity we do, we have to ask one question before we do that activity. Am I going closer to God by this activity? If I am going closer to God, yes, then this activity is justified. If I am not going closer to God, and it is not as per the instructions given by the spiritual master, then one should refrain from such activities rather than giving it an excuse. Kya kare Prabhu ji, my line demands this. Should not be totally, no, sir, I have to party with my clients, otherwise I will lose my business. No. To a limit, fine, you can go to a place, a refreshing place, have a cold drink and just have a discuss, a chat. You don't have to sit with them and make sure that he eats a couple of animals and then you make sure that you get your deal. That's not that, because people think like that. If that is the case, the law of karma is gone false. If you are destined, you will get it. If you are not destined, with little sincere efforts, you should get it. If you are not destined, whatever you do upside down, nothing is going to happen. Please continue.
He therefore engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness and becomes naturally unattached to the activities of material senses, which are all circumstantial and temporary. He knows that his material condition of life is under the supreme control of the Lord. Consequently, he is not disturbed by all kinds of material reactions which he considers to be mercy of the Lord. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in the different features, in three different features, namely Brahman, Paramatma and the Supreme Personality of God, is called the Tattvavit. For he knows also his own factual position in relationship with Supreme.
So, to know, this is an explanation Srila Prabhupada is giving for the first line. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth. So, one may say, some people in the knowledge of absolute truth may be in the level of, oh, Lord is in the form of light, Lord is in the form of Paramatma. Someone may say, Lord may be in the actual, true form. So, ye difference samajhne ke liye Prabhupada ji has given this last understanding. Okay, next verse. Someone else takes the next verse. Who takes the next verse? One who has not read. Read.
Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge.
So, this verse is more of a straightforward verse. Bewildered by the three modes of nature. We all are bewildered by the three modes of nature. कहीं ना कहीं ये तीन गुणों के अंदर आके ही हम लोग confused हैं. This is what one may say, I am under Maya. Yes, this is also Maya. Maya lures. All these are energies of the Lord. And these energies of the Lord is required, because otherwise, if someone is in knowledge, this is Dukkhalayam, Ashashvatam, कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, या इस मृत्यु संसार है, सिर्फ दुख ही दुख है, सब ज्ञान के साथ आप बैठे हो, एंड दिस गुणास आर नॉट देयर, यू विल ऑल्सो नॉट हैव, 56 भोग भी नहीं खाओगे आप, यू कैन नॉट लिव. सो टू मेक यू लिव कंफर्टेबली, आई एम नॉट सेइंग, बट कंफर्टेबली लॉर्ड हैज मेड ऑल दिस मोड्स ऑफ नेचर. अगर ये मोड्स ऑफ नेचर रह ही रहता, वी विल ऑल बी ज्ञानीज. सब साधु जटाधारी साधु रहते थे. But then, how will you progress? Because unless, and that is why letter of instruction says, you should have knowledge of both vidya and avidya. Unless and until there is knowledge of darkness, you will not know what is light. अगर एक बच्चे ने जीवन भर सिर्फ उजाला देखा है और कभी अंधेरा देखा ही नहीं, तो उसको अंधेरा किस चीज़, चिड़िया का नाम है, उसको पता भी. So unless and Lord, that's why Lord is trying to expose us both to good and bad. So ये bad है, दिखाना है, but क्या होता है, कई बार हम लोग क्या होते हैं, उसमें लिप्त हो जाते हैं, and that is because of our perpetual cycle of birth and death. हर जन्म में कुछ ना कुछ desires, वासनाएं थी, इसकी वजह से हम लोग attached हैं. So bewildered to the by the modes of material nature, the ignorant, बार Lord is using the word is ignorant. Ignorant मतलब one who doesn't know. See, for example, a person, let's say a sadhu, he is jnani, he is a knowledge, even he eats. And an ignorant person also eats. Activity is the same. Then how it is different? This sadhu may eat it, calling it as a prasad of the Lord, blessing of the Lord. He takes it as the mercy of the Lord. He offers the food to the Lord. He may do so many activities with that. Secondly, he will keep it within some limits. He will not eat anything on this planet. He will not eat. Whereas the ignorant, he may do the same activity of eating, but then he will do it as per his whims and pleasures, without any knowledge. कौन भगवान, किसने देखा है, कहाँ है, चलो लेट मी एंजॉय लाइफ, किंग सेज. दैट्स द डिफरेंस. एक्टिविटी दोनों करते हैं, जो ज्ञान में है, जो ज्ञान में नहीं है, दोनों एक्टिविटी करते हैं. फर्क इतना ही है, जो ज्ञान में करता है वो अच्छे गुण के अंदर रहता है, और इग्नोरेंट पर्सन है वो तम गुण के अंदर रह के करता है. फुल्ली एंगेज देमसेल्व्स इन मटेरियल एक्टिविटीज एंड बिकम अटैच्ड. बस उसी के साथ अटैचमेंट हो जाता है. आई गेव अ स्मॉल स्टोरी यस्टरडे ऑन शत्रुघ्न. एनीवन रिमेंबर्स? क्या?
He just followed the action. He never said any word.
हाँ, but why? See, this is with respect to attachment. Bharat and Shatrugna come back from their mothers. They had gone to their mother's place. By the time राम का वनवास हो गया था, राम सीता लक्ष्मण वनवास जा चुके थे. And Kaikeyi comes and tells him that they have gone and you are now going to be the king, this and that. That time Bharat blasts him, literally blasts his mother. कोई शास्त्र का ये लिखा है तो मतलब जो भौतिक दुनिया का ज्ञान रखता है वो बोलेगा कि क्या इस तरीके से कोई बेटा माँ से बात कर सकता है क्या? He's not one boy cannot, literally he says कीड़े पड़े तुझे. That's the level. But Shatrugna goes one level ahead. He directly goes and kicks Mantra. ये कुबड़ी की वजह से हुआ. But then Bharat says, it is not just because of this kubdi. It is because of the attachment my mother had towards me. That is why she had asked for this boon. She could have used those two boons, what she had, for anything else, asking for anything else. But why did she ask for two dirty things? The first dirty thing is sending Ram to the Vanvas. ठीक है, लक्ष्मण और सीता तो बाद में गए, but the demand was she wanted Ram out for 14 years. And then since this lady's words just fanned those desires. No, लोला चिंगारी थी अंदर, वो चिंगारी थी कि उसका attachment to भरत was there. But then उसने हवा दिया उसको, अरे तू ऐसी हो जाएगी, वो हो जाएगी. पहले she said didn't say no, but then after she said no. So he wanted to push her out. So how would he do that? So he said this is because of, yes Madhu. नहीं मत, इन बिटवीन द क्लास खत्म होने का वक्त है, आप 10:45 को आने का है. तो he is telling Shatrugna that it is because my mother's attachment to me was so great. So this happened, all this happened. And Kubja only did fanning, but still he gives a punch. And of course, that's a nice relevance given that Kubja is just bent, backbone bent. So what does this mean? जो नकली तरीके से हाँ very humble दिखते हैं ना, they create a false image of humbleness, but they are really not humble, as if they are your well-wishers. They behave as if they are well-wishers, and this is what is the factual life. Okay, life में you will get so-called well-wishers who will not guide you, but who will misguide you. So that's why he says, by doing this activity, one gets attached. So everything is to be remembered at the time when you are in any situation, when you are undergoing any situation. कि भाई am I doing it with attachment, am I forgetting God in this work activity? All those things have to be taken into consideration before you execute any activity, even under the name of devotion. भक्ति के नाम पर अगर कुछ कर रहे हो, but the wise should not unsettle them through these duties. Although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. ठीक है, ज़्यादा अक्ल देने की जरूरत नहीं. बियॉन्ड अ लेवल आप जाना बोलोगे तो आपको फिर उल्टा डंडे पड़ेंगे. तो इट इज़ बेटर, लॉर्ड loves his mercy, you can only pray to God, be merciful on that person and please revive him from this situation. Okay, with this we'd like to close today's session. Anybody has got any doubts, questions, can ask.